banning Brexus more than anything else. But in this case now, they were looking towards what Fnatic has played. Fnatic hasn't played Brexus yet either. They have never chosen it. They have never played it. But they are really strong on BOE. So instead of banning out their traditional map, Dignitas just says, you know what? We're going to take the strongest map of Fnatic away from them for this series.
So BOE will not be played, one that we have seen pretty often from Fnatic and one that they are strong on. Dignitas will now open up the map with a ban. Will they elect to go ahead and keep banning out Abathur, as we've been seeing from a lot of teams? Yesterday we saw them mix it up a little bit here. We saw some Tracer bans, even a couple of Uther bans here and there.
I mean, chances definitely are that Abathur is being banned out by either one of the two teams here. Would be very surprised if they didn't. The one thing that's also important to note about the map, though, as we're heading into our first one, is that both of the teams currently hold a 100% win record on Towers of Doom. Fnatic has played 3 games here, and they've won all 3 of them, and for Dignitas, it's a 2-0 record that they currently have.
I love it. Clash of 100%. Stats are going to be broken here today, Caldor.
Yeah.
You'll be able to smile, too. If Dignitas loses, you'll stop seeing all those 100%. That constant keep coming in here. They only have 1 loss this season, given to them yesterday by Team Liquid.
There's a few things that we have to definitely talk about. Now that Greymane is being banned out, it's one of the staples of Fnatic, but it's definitely an adjustment that we are currently seeing on the side of Dignitas. We also have to consider Blaze, because Dignitas has played Blaze every time they played on the map. And Blaze in general has really started to become more and more popular in HGC Europe. From when he was introduced and Tricked really homed in on the hero, everybody else started to quickly pick up on how strong Blaze is as a solo laner, but also in the main tank position. So there's a good chance that Dignitas is going for Blaze again. But there's always the option that they head into Dehaka, which is another hero that is especially popular in Europe. It's actually really interesting because Europe always catered very much towards the macro style of Heroes of the Storm.
Sure.
And that continues now in 2018 as well. Dehaka is more popular in Europe than in any other region. And of course that macro play around the globals is the main reason for it.
Yeah, the top lane is your anchor nowadays. The top lane, the one bringing in the double soaking, making sure that they're setting up for you to have a great foundation and experience. So typically we are going to be watching for Bad Bunny and Wubby to have good games in this matchup against each other. And I am actually talking about the Blaze talk that we were having here from Caldor as we get Tracer picked up. Blaze and that bunker has become more and more popular. The armor that it gives, the ability to dodge out on abilities like a pulse bomb coming your way, has been instrumental here in Europe, and I expect it to continue to be pushed forward.
Yeah. And at this point now with Tracer taken, the chances are that Fnatic is already thinking about possibly picking Malfurion here. Now they've played a lot with Malfurion in general. This is on the other hand a map where in all the 3 games that they played, they haven't chosen Malfurion once. Towers of Doom is actually a map where we see them with Karazim, and we've also seen them with a fair amount of Uther, Lucio. But if you see a Tracer on the other side of the draft, the first thought is always, hey, do we take Malfurion away from that combo? Since Tracer just works extremely well with Malfurion, and it has been a very stable start into the draft for a lot of the teams. So at this point, Fnatic really has to decide, what do we want to do here? Do we want to take a hero away, or are we okay just playing our own game? And they play their own draft now. They let Malfurion go over to Dignitas, and they pick Uther and Hanzo to start the draft off.
Uther and Hanzo. Force fights, you have the ability to hold off against a pulse bomb by getting some armor up on that Uther, but also the divine shield as well. So a good foundation for Fnatic, but as you're mentioning the Malfurion for Fnatic, they decided to go against it, so Dignitas now has their choice to pick it up, and the combo between Malf and Tracer has been pretty legendary the last couple of weeks, being able to keep her alive.
Now you could also go into Lucio here if they wanted to, but Malfurion is what we would expect. There's a few other heroes that particularly interest me now heading into the next ban phase as well, and that's for example Anubarak. Since Fnatic has been very successful with Anubarak overall, especially in Korea, Anubarak sees a lot of bans these days, but that was also the case a lot against Fnatic, because with Anubarak they are extremely powerful. It's one of their best heroes with 6 wins and only 1 loss, and Dignitas has definitely done their homework. A lot of the bans that we've seen from them so far, and a lot of the, like even the map picks and bans that we've seen, does indicate that they thought a lot about, okay, which heroes do we want to get rid of, what map do we want to play. The ban against Greymane, for example, already indicating that they're very well aware that Greymane for Fnatic has a 3-0 record on Towers of Doom, and Greymane is actually the most played hero on Fnatic's side. They play him in 58% of their games, and they currently hold an 82% win ratio with him. So a very smart ban from Dignitas, and that's why I'm curious to see if they now start thinking about maybe banning out Anubarak on the 2nd position.
That will be up soon. Abathur gets chosen for Fnatic to be banned out, so Abathur will not be available. Team Dignitas now thinking about their ban. You did mention the Nubrak as a possibility to be taken away. Tyrael as well has gotten pretty strong lately, but he also hasn't been too much of a mainstay for Fnatic. Seen him dabbled in a little bit here and there.
Now there's a couple of things now. First of all, the Nubrak is a question, but now that Blaze is picked, as we mentioned before, both times that Dignitas played on Towers of Doom, they played with Blaze, so they chose him again before the second ban phase. But they could also now think about maybe banning out offlaner, so they could think about, okay, what about Arthurs? Fnatic played Arthurs a lot. In all the 3 wins that they had here, they played Arthurs. They hold an amazing record with the hero as well, currently sitting at 7-1 win ratio. The only game with Arthurs that they lost was against the Diamond Skin on Battlefield of Eternity. So Arthurs is a possible ban, the Haka is a possible ban, you could ban a Nubarak, and they go for the Haka, so they don't want to deal with the global, and they are fine dealing with a potential Nubarak pick on the side of Fnatic. And I would say that with the ban on the Haka, Arthurs as a pickup for the top lane is now becoming even more likely.
Yeah, I was interested about that ban for Dignitas because we haven't gotten too much to Haka from Bad Benny. He's been playing more of a main warrior role in that side lane. He's had the Arthas, he's had the Tyrael in the past, even a Leo mixed in here and there, but Dignitas just making sure the option is not available.
Yeah, they actually never played the Haka.
Yeah.
This is the interesting thing about Fnatic right now. They haven't played the Haka once in 2018 yet. So in this case, Dignitas not really looking at Fnatic stats and saying like, okay, did they play the hero? How successful are they with the hero? But I think they are just more worried about being blindsided by a global and Fnatic showing something else that they haven't shown in HGC yet. So they're simply getting rid of that and saying, we're okay dealing with an Arthas, with a Leoric, no matter what you bring to the table, we can deal with it.
So it'll be Tyrael and Tassadar, so we are getting double support from Fnatic, Tassadar and Uther to keep that Hanzo alive and healthy, and then Tyrael, which could be the main tank, but I'm assuming it's going to be that offlaner, which we've been seeing from Bad Benny more often lately, meaning that a main tank could be their final option for Fnatic, which means we have a solo assassin Hanzo, popular as of late.
And this is also the style that Fnatic lost to when they played against Zealots. Zealots did very well with it, and it's more or less the same core combo, Uther, Tassadar, and Hanzo. On top of that, now also layered Tyrael, the reworked hero with all of the shields that he brings to the table. And now the question just remaining, what is Dignitas gonna go down to? They could play Blaze still as the main tank. It's a bit unlikely. And it's Medivh and Diablos. They're going for Leyline, Seal, and Apoc combo.
Leyline, Seal, Apoc, a little bit rough against Sanification and Divine Shield itself, but still a combo that can set them up to have success if they get a pick or two, meaning Tracer can then really take the number advantage and run away with it. Fnatic now thinking about their final pickup. Do you think we'll see a main tank or some extra damage coming in?
I think there's a high chance. It's actually a good question because Tyrael could be played in both positions. So I could see them either heading into... I would actually like another tank along the lines of a Nubarak and see Bad Benny and Tyrael. First of all, I liked him on... If they pick Arthurs, then Bad Benny on Arthurs would be a good choice here. But on any other hero, if they want to play more aggressive, for example, then going into a Nubarak and having Bad Benny on Tyrael, I wouldn't mind that either. Every time Bad Benny was on Tyrael, he played extremely well. He had really good tanks and he played well with the hero. So I think they still have a lot of flexibility here in how they change it, just simply because they have that hero overlap with Bad Benny and Breeze, since Bad Benny comes from the main tank position.
ETC will be the final pickup here. Assuming that we'll have Breeze, but we could have Stage Dive ETC for Bad Benny on the side. Actually pretty interchangeable between those two.
It's also the first time that they are playing with ETC on the map now.
So all said and done, Caldor. How do you like our first draft of both teams?
I like it from both sides. I did not really expect Dignitas to head into a Leyline Apocalypse combination. I did not expect them to do that, but overall it's really strong, and they have also Tracer, which is a huge asset for them. The Tracer and Malfurion setup, but I also like what Fnatic has here. For me, it's just a power level question, because when we look at the history of Heroes of the Storm, there was a long time when Dignitas was in the #1 spot and Fnatic just kept chasing, and Dignitas was this arch nemesis that Fnatic couldn't overcome.
Yeah.
And then at some point, they finally flipped the switch, and that was at the mid-season brawl last year in Sweden, when Fnatic finally broke through Dignitas, and from that point on, Fnatic just slammed Dignitas in the ground every single time they played. And now we have the roles reversed seemingly again, because Dignitas is currently on top of the European meta, and they are definitely the favorite heading into this series. So It's just the dynamic between the two teams that is just so entertaining to watch because they always switch positions, and then it's just a question, all right, do we see in the long run maybe Fnatic picking up speed again? Are we today maybe seeing a completely unleashed Fnatic that can take Dignitas down, or is Dignitas dominant again? So I'm happy with the draft, and I just want to get the game started.
Yeah, it's electrifying. Both these teams are very magnetic. Let's go ahead and jump into game number 1 as adversaries clash once again here at the HGC. Dignitas taking on Fnatic.
And starting off to the left side of the map, our first map in the best of 5 here, Towers of Doom. It is Fnatic. Breeze on ETC, Main on Hanzo, Bad Benny on Tyrael. We see Quacknix on Tacita, and Smexy on Uther.
On the right side in the red. Wubby coming in playing Blaze, JPL on Diablo, Snitch on Medivh, Poik on Tracer, and Zalia playing Malfurion.
So as mentioned before, both teams have a perfect win ratio on this map. Fnatic at 3-0 and Dignitas at 2-0. It's definitely going to change today. Dignitas comes into the series as the favorite, only dropping a single map so far in 2018. They currently hold an overall map record of 15 wins and 1 loss. Fnatic is sitting at 14 wins and 5 losses. They lost the series to the Zealots and also dropped another map then to Diamond Skin. So this is going to be a super interesting game here. Let's see if Dignitas can start things up with a quick win. And my eyes are definitely on Tracer in particular, finding out how much of an impact Poik can have in this setup, especially going up against ETC and Uther, 2 tanks with hard CC that could make his life a living hell if they get the right timing down.
There's so many matches here to watch just between these two. You have Mane versus Poik, as you mentioned, Tracer versus Hanzo, who can be the assassin that really helps their team break through the opponent to get a kill or two. And then you have that top lane, Bad Benny coming in, filling in the role that Wubby used to fill for Fnatic, but Wubby continuing to be one of the best in Europe in controlling the top lane. How will Bad Benny, who's had some struggles here and there, fare against him? We'll continue to watch as he actually see a bit of a fight possibly breaking out here in the middle as Wubby rotates from the top down to the middle, out clearing that Tyrael.
Snitch is, by the way, playing his first Medivh game this year. So far, we haven't really seen a lot of Medivh from Dignitas. It's the first game they play with him. Blaze, on the other hand, played twice by Dignitas on the map, so they really like him for Towers of Doom. And just in general, Blaze is a hero that Dignitas is starting to play more and more. And the cool thing about it is that we have seen them play Blaze in the off lane. We've seen him as the main tank. So there's a lot of back and forth where they just adjust depending on which slot they need him in. Over the entire course of 2018 so far, Dignitas has played Blaze 7 times and only lost a single game with Blaze. And that was, of course, the map against Team Liquid. So they're sitting at an 86% win ratio. Very impressive stats, and they played Blaze more than basically any other team with the exception, of course, of Trick.
Breeze trying to force a fight, goes in for a power slide and will hit JPL, but the kite backwards allows for him to disengage because Malfurion drops down the route. Poik goes in and drops a pulse bomb, but nothing too substantial in damage. Breeze actually missing a power slide. You don't normally see that.
Yeah, both of the teams right now are heading into a 4 versus 4. So we have a complete 4-man at the bot lane, and then the 2 offlaners attempting to soak the experience in the middle and the top as the 3 altars are now popping up on the map. And especially when we're looking towards Hanzo, played today by Mane, he needs to be the main damage dealer here. Kept alive by 2 supports, so let's see if those long sustained fights are working in Fnatic's favor, or if Dignitas is finding the quick kills against them.
Which will come in the form of those pulse bombs. JPL takes damage here in the middle. He'll get a Force of Will, but still gets chunked down. Fnatic doing pretty well there.
JPL yesterday having a bit of trouble against Team Liquid, especially on Tomb of the Spider Queen, getting blown up several times, but that was also Team Liquid playing a very aggressive combo. Bad Benny gets the channel through down to the bottom. On the other hand, we are now seeing a fight over the last altar as the top 2 have been exchanged. So 4 shots fired on each side. Bomb goes in again. Breeze needs to be careful as JPL engages, but now Bad Benny is joining the fray. Zalia with a channel in the backline, and nobody is ready to interrupt him. So another altar taken by Team Dignitas as they claim a small lead.
Yeah, that was a bit unfortunate there from Fnatic. Having Breeze coming around for a flank to force the engage. Poik identifying that, jumps on the back line of 3 members, drops in some damage and forces them to back away, making ETC come in to peel for his teammates, which allows Dignitas to grab the channel. Quacknix, a little bit out of position here, going to be able to use Dimensional Shift to escape away.
Yeah, had to use his E, so needs to be careful. Still in cooldown here, but a bit of good damage against Poik as well, and that keeps him on the back. Up to the top lane, Blaze now going up against Tyrael. And that's for Tyrael. Bit of a rough match here. The wave clear definitely is stronger for Blaze himself. Medivh is also helping out in the mid lane. So Dignitas is once again doing a fantastic job getting the experience out of all 3 lanes. And they are slightly ahead in XP. It's not really a big deal at this point, but we've all seen Dignitas just simply creep ahead in experience and all of a sudden lead with a level or 1.5. While not even getting any kills.
Speaking of creeping, Fnatic's power level with this composition will creep up as they move towards the later stages and get that 10, especially with Redemption finishing up on the Hanzo. Team Dignitas comes in for an aggressive fight, but the Sappers taken by Fnatic means that they don't have to fight over the area.
Oh.
And we're going to have Fnatic actually chasing him. Bad Vinny joins from the top lane.
The JPL went a bit deep here, but he was immediately covered by Zelia as he puts down the roots and makes sure that Diablo can walk away from this. But a bit of an aggressive engage, trying to create space for the team, and it works out here. In the meantime, we're seeing Bad Benny trying to escape as Whoopi and Snitch are converging on him. But he's able to go behind the wall, still losing the tower here on the other hand.
This is why Blaze is so strong in the hands of Dignitas. If they ever allow for a 5-man gank to happen on a different part of the map, Wubby is going to soak multiple lanes, and he did it here. And this gives him a nice little half-level experience lead, 8.5 as they move towards level 10. And Wubby, still committed to clearing lanes, is actually heading down here to help out with the 2 altars that have spawned.
Yeah, Tyrael neither. Once again, we're seeing Diablo going deep, gets the shield. He's being careful here, sliding through and putting himself onto the other side. So it's a really big standoff here on the 2 sides with interrupt potential on Snitch side. Going for the portal again. Zelia with the Moonfire. No, he doesn't get it through. And that's why another shot is fired against Dignitas. So Fnatic able to tie up the points on the core. Both teams now on 32.
Wubby going in for an engage. Get propulsion right away. Bad Benny's low and healthy. Is able to get away. However, Breeze gets thrown across the map there by JPL. Diablo controlling that front line.
Absolutely love watching Polygon Tracer. So much work done already by him. The entire time Fnatic is doing an exceptionally good job poking him down and trying to keep him low, so it's difficult for Tracer to go into the backline. But Poik plays extremely well here. We're 6 minutes into the game and we haven't seen a single kill between these 2 teams.
Not a single one, but that should change pretty soon here. 10 coming online, Leyline Seal into APOC. You mentioned the strengths of it. Having the save button here for the bunker that will be coming online for Blaze. Pulse Bomb going up in damage as well with that Quantum Spike will be great against Breeze if he's ever caught out again. Because so far, one of the great things about Team Dignitas is they can focus a target, force out a heal or divine shield or even a tacit shield, and then instantly change around quickly with that tracer to find another target and kill them quickly.
And we all know how explosive Dignitas can be with these level 10 advantages and how fast they oftentimes take the lead in the game. Now JPL and his boys are stealing a camp away from Fnatic. Fnatic is staying back and know exactly that they can't contest it here, so they're trying to soak the experience to get level 10 themselves. But also, we have still Snitch working on Medivh's level 7 talent. Nasta's touch on 14 stacks at this point. We're seeing also Blaze now with the Incinerator Gauntlets, a bit of an adjustment to the playstyle of Blaze. We'll be switching between Grill and Kill and the Incinerator Gauntlets, which is traditionally more the style that Alex the Progi employed on the hero. And yeah, this is gonna be a really good one, but Dignitas at this point, thanks to the camps, also able to take an entire level lead as Fnatic finally hits level 10.
And we'll see our first team fight around that level 10, as it's one altar here in the middle. Team Dignitas isn't set up yet. Fnatic is in a good position to control the chokes. Bad Benny watching the left side, Breeze watching the right side, trying to make sure that there's no engage. The problem is, Dignitas, they have Medivh, which makes it much easier for them to engage.
Also Blaze, the bunker play that we've seen by Whoopi against Team Liquid just yesterday was fantastic, was absolutely phenomenal. And that's something that you can use now to keep Tracer alive, to keep Malfurion alive. So we have to watch out for that. Could also, of course, block the position out. If he gets a chance, he has to jump into the backline, and barely Quatnik survives, gets the shield, pops the Archon, and here comes the APOC, but not killing anybody, just forcing Fnatic a bit out of position. But Benny is low, did not have to commit to anything just yet. Sanctification is still available, but Snitch gets the channel through in the back. Space created by JPL and Whoopi on Diablo and Blaze. So no problem for him to get the channel through. And we have Fnatic down to 24%. 24 points on the court.
And Dignitas, gotta love how they realize, let's put some pressure on Tassadar, make him back up, exploit that small health bar that he has. If he's forced to pull off Archon, then we push forward, we wait out the fight, we don't engage, and then get control of the area. And then Fnatic on the other side realizing, okay, well, they outplayed us here. We got the Archon popped, we can't make anything happen with it, we have to give away the points. High level play from both teams, and I love how there's no kills yet.
I could actually have seen Fnatic re-engage after Apocalypse was being used, but I think they were a bit worried because a lot of the heroes were already rather low, Tyrael being one of them. But as you said, we are 9 minutes into the game and we haven't seen a single kill yet. The problem for Fnatic is that Dignitas is still able to slowly creep ahead. And I'm not necessarily talking about the points on the core. I'm more so talking about experience. 13 will hit very soon for Dignitas, and Fnatic is an entire level behind. So they can still bide some time here and make sure that they engage with 13 versus 13 talents, but they're gonna lose more ground on the objective, and that's something that, at least in the long run, has to worry them. Here comes the engage by Dignitas though. Portal is in there trying to go for it, and Breeze is in trouble. Slides out, and Smexy is holding back the Divine Shield, doesn't even use it. Arrow comes out by Hanzo, but no follow-up for it. But nice move keeping Breeze on HGC alive, and Smexy not even having to resort to his heroic ability.
Yeah, Mosh Pit still is up and available, but no Dragon's Arrow. Team Dignitas continues to port around the map, thinking with portals, trying to control space here, and also escape away from their opponents. Team Dignitas still up 32-24 with one altar spotting towards the south.
Fnatic actually starting to push this in a little bit more aggressively. They're currently still down 1 talent, and we have the altar now on the map, but they are willing to fight regardless. They're not going to give this one up easily. Once again, Archon being popped. Quacknix very early here, and the old Mosh Pit also used, but only against Diablo. The bunker is already in play, and Breeze is not going to get a lot out of this. Abhok comes in, not really hitting a lot here. Bad Benny is low, but he did not use his Sanct just yet. Divine Shield already used earlier, and now Dignitas trying to aim for the altar. But Fnatic still doesn't have 13. They still need 1 or 2 more waves to get the next talent.
Breeze has power slide up, but he's trying to deal with his front line of JPL and Wubby. So much health there, so difficult to get past. Mana at the same time, doing some pretty decent damage on Zalia, and Poik on the back line, being a little bit aggressive as he pokes around the north side.
Arrow is back for Hanzo. He can use his ult now again. Whoopi gets the channel through, and Fnatic starts to retreat here. They don't have the 13. They don't want to fight if there's no reason. Arrow comes out though, so if he can get killed, that would be great for them. But here comes the engage. Malf uses the Twilight Dream, and immediately we have the Sanctification used as well. The Leyline Seal, on the other hand, puts them into the ground. Tyrael dies, Bad Benny blown up, and now Breeze the next target. Bomb comes through, and Breeze blows up as Medivh completes Master's Touch.
Dignitas keeping the pressure up. They even find a Hanzo as well as they slam in it against the wall. Only Tassadar and Uther are up here for the next 10 seconds. Dignitas opens up and gets a few kills, 3-0. And next thing on their list, let's take a bell tower.
Yeah, they immediately carry the momentum into the heart of Fnatic's base, so to say. They take the bell tower here at the bot lane. They have now taken a big lead also with 20-32 points in the core in their favor. The 13 talent is finally there, but for Fnatic it's a bit of an annoying situation. They had to give up the altar at the bot lane, and then they still couldn't retreat. At that moment the portal came through, and the aggression was immediately used by Dignitas. I'm still questioning a bit if Fnatic really had to stay there and fight for the altar, being a talent down. If it wouldn't have been smart on there and to wait for the 13 versus 13 fight and take that.
They wanted to disengage after the altar was taken away, but I think you're asking if they should have just left and gave it up to begin with right away.
Yeah.
Because they were trying to go for the escape. That's where Dignitas finally caught them. There goes a power slide. Diablo near the kill zone, but safe for now. Multiple sappers coming in. Fnatic wants to slow this down, and they will be able to, but look at this. 3 altars activating.
Yeah, and now we have also a potential kill up at the top, and yes, JPL confirms it. Going for Tyrael and slamming him into the ground, and that's the end of Bad Benny once again. And with 3 altars spawning in 3-4 seconds, Fnatic is now down a hero, probably for the duration. So a very uncomfortable situation for the blue team, and Dignitas has really taken control of this game. Trying to go for Smexy here, roots on the ground, Hanzo down as Tracer moves in, Poik with a kill against Mina.
And Dignitas?
That's 15 shots fired.
They're set up for all 3 of them, yeah. 15. 5 more coming out. 5 more to the top right. Maybe 6 they're able to get this bell tower. They go in for an engaging and Freeze. Put him against the bell tower. Trying to chunk him slightly here. Wubby goes in for his own engage and jet propulsion. We do have Tyrael back up and ready to fight, but no Hanzo, meaning damage is missing for Fnatic.
Tyrael dying at the wrong time, just as the altars were about to spawn, and that put Fnatic into an awkward spot already. Dignitas capitalized on it by also taking down Hanzo shortly after.
Arrow's coming out. They're fighting.
Yeah, the arrow is gonna hit 2. Can they follow up though? Nah, they can't. It's a bit too deep here. 16 versus 14, that's another problem that Fnatic has to face. Dignitas is holding on to the next talent. That's a big power spike for them as well. The top right has still not been taken, and Dignitas is currently delaying it.
Dignitas still dancing around, wanting to fight. Apoc gets used. Breeze is able to knock him back quickly, but he's still getting low on health. Quick comes over to focus him down. Silence connects there from Xaylia, and that's going to be a dead cow. Same time, Tyro gets hit by the leyline seal, and Dignitas continue to chase forward as they grab Quagmix.
Xaylia is just such a beast. This isn't human anymore. We see Breeze with a mosh pit, and then Tyrael says, boys, I got him, jumps in and wants to use the Sank, and the second he tries to Sanctification, the Twilight Dream just comes out, already anticipating the Tyrael jump, and then he gets not only ETC, but he also makes sure that Tyrael has no opportunity to save him. So on the back of this, ETC blows up, and then the next kill ends up being Tacita. So now we have 7 kills against 0 for Team Dignitas, and everybody on Dignitas' side has just played fantastic here. The constant pressure from Poik on Tracer onto the backline, and also the damage and the interrupts that we are seeing from Xaylia himself and Malfuri. Extremely well played.
Dignitas playing around the boss here, thinking about possibly grabbing it, deciding not to, as Fnatic could come in for the invade. There is Holy Ground picked up at level 13 instead of Law and Order. Sanctification will be up in about 40 seconds, so mostly more of a bait here for Dig. If they can get a kill or two, that would be good.
Well, it's more or less a checkmate position because they reclaimed another bell tower, so now they hold 6 against 2. That's the reason why Fnatic is now down to 4 points on the core. That means either boss or another altar is going to end this game in Dignitas' favor. And Dignitas still has 32 points on their own core, and they already hold level 17, nearly 18, whereas Fnatic is still trying to get enough experience to get level 16 talents. So these fights are heavily favoring Dignitas right now. This is why Dignitas can posture around the boss and force Fnatic to at least respect that and always double check, okay, are you going for the fight? Where are you on the map right now? What are you doing? So Fnatic, as you could just see up at the top, needs to move in, needs to double check the bushes, and needs to put themselves into an awkward position. Whereas Dignitas peels a hero off to the bot lane. Wooby takes one of the camps and is working on the second. So now Fnatic is going to be pushed to the bot lane to deal with that, and that opens up space at the top where the boss could be attacked by Dignitas as a result.
Man, Dig-tastic play here from Dignitas, setting themselves up perfectly. They have Blaze grabbing the scepter, as you mentioned. 20 seconds for the ultras to activate the top left and top right. Fnatic, how do you find yourself out of the situation that you're in? Do they have to force a fight? It looks like they're going to try it. Power slide goes in, they hop on Breeze.
Over one way or another. First camp goes through at the bot lane. That's 3 shots fight against the core. Fnatic is down to 1 point, and the second camp is moving through. And up here at the top, the fight continues. Nice Sanctification, cancelling out the APOC. And once again, we have Wooby moving in here as well. Mosh is good. They can not get the kill. Instead, it's actually Hanzo blowing up, and ETC too at the bot lane. The last camp is still pushing through 2 altars. Triple kill as Tyrael blows up. Dignitas wipes Fnatic. 12 kills against 0, 3 levels ahead, and now they can either end with boss, the altar, or the camp at the bot lane.
Choose how you want to win. They grab the altar, they get the shots across, and Dignitas takes the first game in the best of 5 series. Fnatic hanging in with them till the middle of the game, but after one clean team fight, Dig got 3 kills, took the lead, and just ran with it and put